What's going on, guys? We're here with another episode of the Argenis show. Today I have a special guest. He's actually a very good friend of mine. His name is Franco Briseño. He's actually one of the top dudes for me, like here in the game. He's a realtor, and he's somebody that I've kind of we've been friends for a while, and I've seen how his career in the real estate world has just gone like. Little by little, he's just gone, to the point where I'm like, oh shit, he's like definitely killing the game. So let's get the show started.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, dude. Thank you for coming. I thought because this show is pretty much to. For me, I wanted to bring in people that are successful, that are successful in their whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in I guess whatever their specialty is. You know what I'm saying? So I thought you'd be a great guest to have, just because like I said, for me, like I've been watching you for a long time. I've seen you. I see how you're killing the game, dude. Actually. Most people don't know this, but I went to real estate school, and my biggest, I guess, inspiration was this dude right here. Because, I'm saying, like, I thought, like, I've always, like, I used to work for City Financial. Most people don't know this, but I used to work for City Financial back in the day.
Right.
Vero probably remembers. Vero is actually Franco's wife. You guys can't see her, but she's here in the studio. But, yeah, I've been friends with Vero for a while. And so I used to, I remember you guys even stopped by one time to the office. I think Giselle and so anyway, back then I was really into like the whole loans and all that,
right.
Like the home equity loans, all
right.
that stuff. And I remember I was like, I'm gonna quit this because I'm too young to be doing this, but eventually I want to get back in like real estate or something like that,
Right.
And so fast forward to like what I think it was like 2017. That's when I decided to go get my license. But again,
right.
You had a lot to do with it. Like a lot of seeing you out there killing it definitely influenced me wanting to go do it.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna just the main thing for me, I just wanted to bring people in to like kind of pick their brain, because like. Everybody talks about like the good stuff and like the good shit. You know what I mean? Like of whatever like their industry is.
Right.
But I want to talk more about like just the real stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, how'd you get into the game, dude?
Okay. I've always been in sales. I think, like you say, we've been friends for a little while, and I can look back and see the jobs that you and I had. Back in the day when we were younger. I think we were always sort of like business driven. I actually like sales, I enjoy it. I get a kick out of it. Yeah. When you build a good, amount of clients, and when you're having that success, it feels very, very rewarding. So that's why I like sales. So I was actually in the cell phone business, and started gaining success in the cell phone business. I moved up to management, and the company that I was working for, they actually sent me over to San Diego to help with opening a market. So they gave me a store. They relocated me over there, and me and Vero, we were young. We were in our early 20s, and so we were learning a lot about life and about business and about sales, mainly sales. I had a couple of mentors there in that company that taught me sales, and they taught me how to engage with people and do all that. So I learned a lot from that experience, and I figured the best thing that you can get yourself into selling is homes. It's the biggest asset that people invest in, and so I figured in regards to sales, nothing better to sell than homes. That's how I saw it. But nobody in my family, I don't have somebody that was already doing it.
Yeah.
Vero is actually the one that found a job working for a new home builder, and we discovered that to work for a new home builder, you don't need a license, a real estate license, because you work for the builder, so you're selling their homes. So Vero started working for a builder, and I didn't realize, hey, I can do this without a license, and so I quickly started applying at different building companies, and they took a little while to call me back, but somebody eventually called me back and interviewed me and hired me and Vero. And so we started working for that builder. And so, to me, I was, doing sales, but I was also working on growing within the industry. I knew nothing about real estate. I knew nothing about homes. So it was very interesting to me. And so I started learning everything that I could. I wasn't even, of course, I was looking for a paycheck to be able to pay my rent, but my return on the investment of my time was more the learning experience. What I liked about the building company that I started working for was the fact that they didn't really have a sales manager. I think they had just fired him.
Okay.
And so I started working for the owner directly.
Oh, damn.
And so I saw a lot of value in working directly with the owner. He taught me a lot. That's where everything started for me. Even though he told me, hey, I'll give you the job and I'll throw you in the water, and if you swim, you swim, and if you sink, you sink.
Yeah.
I remember that. And so within myself, I thought, I'm gonna show this guy that I can swim,
Yeah,
and that I
sure.
can swim fast.
Hell yeah.
So I learned everything that I could, and I loved it. It was love at first sight. The first contract that I did felt so good, and that's the biggest reward. I mean, like I say, the money is good too, but being able to accomplish, helping somebody getting to that, and there's so much emotion going on within a real estate deal that I quickly discovered, this is for me, and I'm gonna stay in this business, and I'm gonna grow. And so it was always a plan, for us to grow within the business, and it's continuing to be the plan right now. Me and Vero, we're 10 years into it, and
that's a long time, bro.
We're enjoying it so much right now.
It's
a lot of different situations that you have to overcome, but it feels nice when you do.
And yeah, and you brought up Vero a lot. How is it working with your spouse? Because I know some people, they just can't be around him, like for whatever reason, because they always say they're basically. Don't shit what you eat, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I think in this situation it's different because you guys are married. How is it? How is it beneficial? And like that you think it helps you guys? And then also, what are the challenges too?
I get that question a lot. I get that question a lot from peers and from friends and from other professionals, because I see a lot of people that consider doing real estate together with their significant other. It's something common that people think about and consider.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, and we were talking about this yesterday, a very important thing is that we're very compatible. We have very compatible personalities. We're not very similar personality wise, but we have a lot of we're compatible. And so ever since before we started like officially dating, we can hang out all day. When I first met you, Roger, me and Vero could hang out, and we were just friends, and we could just be together, and we wouldn't fight. We would just enjoy ourselves, and that's sort of why we got together. And eventually, I married her because I figured I enjoy being with this girl, So I do get that question a lot. Everybody asks me, hey, like, you guys don't get tired of each other, this and that, and I'm like, no. And if you get tired of being with your significant other, that's fine if you're happy, but you should wonder about it. Like the way I see it is,
it's a red flag.
Well, kind of. Like I say, to me, it's all about if you're happy and you're enjoying your relationship.
Yeah.
But with us, this is what works, and so I think it's very beneficial because Vero has her own angles to the way she approaches the business, and I have my own angles. She has her own way of thinking, and I have my own way of thinking. So to give you a very good example, we actually, within the business, we took over a subdivision. We have a client that's a builder, a new home builder. So they build a lot of homes. And so right now we have a big market share on the east side, and we took over a subdivision. And it was a subdivision that, wasn't gaining too much traction.
Yeah.
But, the two of us combined, I did my things, she did her things, she gave it that female touch to the home, and
which is necessary, man.
Exactly.
That's the key right there too.
Yes, sir. And I started implementing, marketing techniques that I've learned. I do a lot of learning on my phone and on my computer, you know.
Yeah.
I'm from the Google University.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
That's
YouTube University. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube.
You
man.
know,
Like,
it's actually pretty, like, I'll even say it. It sounds corny, but it's magical what you can do with you know, the access to all the information that's on YouTube. That's how I got my real estate license. You know, working for the builder, I had some time in my hands while I was waiting for somebody to show up. So at that time, I figured, you know, I might as well learn to grow in the business. So I went online. I got some online courses to get the real estate license. I did it on my computer. You know, I did it on my phone and on my computer. I got a real estate license off of, you know, doing that, being online and studying online. And I keep doing it. You know, I still continue to study online, you know, to eventually get my broker license and all. We're pretty close already to that. And, you know, I think the more you know, the more you're worth.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, that's what I like, to be able to get on my computer and be able to study and see it all there.
And what are the challenges with you guys? Like, so I'm sure you guys aren't always happy, right? You know, you guys get competitive with each other. You guys like push each other in that sense. You know, not maybe not in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? But you guys have that like competition mentality. Because I know, like, when you're in sales, I love sales, man. You know, like you said, sales is really like all we've worked on. I love sales, dude. So I know there's always that competition. There's always like that. Hey, who's gonna close the most deals and shit? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, how do you? Do you guys ever
more than competition? One of the things that I can tell you, Roger, that drives me is being able to make her proud. Honestly, you know, I want to be able to make my family proud. I want to be able to make, you know, my wife proud. I want to be able to give them that happiness, you know, because I know that'll really impact their lives as well, you know, being able to be proud of, you know, your family and your significant other. So that is one of the things that drives me. Right now, we're not really like in a position where we compete. We actually have some sort of synergy going on, you know. We work together and as a team. So this synergy that I'm telling you about actually has grown into bringing the family to the business. So now I have my older brother. He joined the business. We work together. I have my cousin who's also like my brother, you know. I have my father, my dad. He got his real estate license a little bit over a year ago. And I'm proud to say, you know, I got him into the industry and I see him happy, you know, because I think that my salesmanship and my passion for sales comes from my mom and my dad. They're both salespeople as well. And so I always knew that my dad would be great in the business, and he's doing great things, you know. And that's awesome. The best thing is we're doing it together. So it kind of takes me back to people asking us about working together as husband and wife, me and Beto. It's the same thing with family, you know. It's tricky to work with family.
Yeah, it is.
I work with my brother and my dad directly, and to us, we've found a way to make it work, you know. We've found a way to, instead of competing and, you know, being on each other's throats, we actually work together. And it's beautiful, man. There's a big reward in that as well, you know, being able to work together with your family and gain success together. You know, it's something very very amazing.
And I think it's very rare because I think you know, in any business where there's money involved, I think that people can start getting, you know, either really greedy or, you know, people. There is, you know, people. So there's people out there, you know, that'll do anything to get that deal, even if it means screwing somebody over.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, it sounds like you guys have a good thing going on, and a very rare thing. I don't think, would you say that it's pretty rare? I don't think everybody could do that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I see groups. I see different groups. One of the things that I really like about being in the real estate business is the fact that real estate is a science and an art. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. I see different circles of people that are working in different strategies, and they have success. And I think everybody has different ways of gaining success within the real estate industry. There's so many angles and so many approaches that you can embrace to be able to get into real estate, you know, whether you get a license or whether you wholesale deals or whether you build homes or flip homes, or loan money to other people to do flips and stuff like that. There's so many angles to this business that there's really no right or wrong way to do it. So I do see some spouses that are out there that are working together that are doing great things. They're friends of ours, and I see it, and I commend them. I learn everything that I can from everybody that I interact with. So I take whatever I can from everybody that I can, but at the same time, I like giving value, to the community and stuff like that. So it's one of the things that I enjoy about being in real estate.
Awesome, man. Well, I think it's cool that you brought that up about the groups, people working together, because I guess there's a lot of people out there. I think when I went to real estate school, which is, I think it was about 2 years ago.
Right.
I think they were saying that there was like 2,000 something realtors or people who hold a license here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people out there trying to be. It's kind of like at some point I think it became a trend.
Right.
To be a realtor, which is like maybe like within the last couple of years.
You're right.
It's been a trend in a lot of people. They always have those memes online like. You were like, you went from like T-Mobile to this. And then now
that's me, bro. That's me right there.
It's crazy, but it's true. But I mean, I'm saying like, I you've been doing this for a long time. I think it became a trend a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
What gives you guys the edge? You know what I'm saying? Because again, for me, I can honestly say like you guys are my favorite. I haven't been able to get fully into real estate because of soundstage and everything else that I got going on, but. Right. Every time I have somebody that needs help with a home, we've done it a couple of times where I refer to you, and I'm just kind of like, yo, this is my dude. He's the best. He'll take care of you guys. And so what gives you the edge, man? Because there is a lot of people out there. I'm not going to say competition because, I mean, I think to call it competition, you got to be in the same realm. You know what I mean? You got to be within the same lane. I think you guys have kind of established your own. You guys, it's not, like you guys are competing with like all these other people that are just starting, because you guys have been doing it for a while. You guys are veterans, you know what I'm saying, in the game, so you guys know how it works. What gives you guys the edge, though?
We, like you say, we did start doing it before it was cool, a little bit.
Yeah.
Me and Vero, we enjoy playing poker, so we went to Ruidoso to the casino and playing poker. Somebody told me. They asked me, what I did for a living, and I told them, I got into real estate, and this is, like I say, a little over 10 years ago. And I remember the guy told me, he's like, you got into real estate, why would you do that? Like real estate is horrible right now. Yeah. Because 10 years ago, we were still, finished, like we were going through the recession.
Yeah.
So every market out there was hurting. But the El Paso market has always been very stable. It's different. Our market is different than... markets in like California and different states or even different cities. Our city is very particular because we have Fort Bliss, and then we're a border town. And so we have a lot of, foreign nationals that come in and buy homes cash. They're very wealthy people, and then military, so our economy is very, very different here locally. And so, but regardless of that, it's true, a lot of people were quitting the business when me and Beto started into it, and I think that's one of the things that gave us an edge. I feel like I see it like if you're trying to train to like run a marathon, if you go and run at the beach, you're running on sand, which makes it harder. I kind of see it like that. And when we started, we were going upstream, we were going against the current, and so I think being able to get past that taught us a lot, because when I started, the people that were quitting, they were saying, oh, a couple of years ago, you would just need to be able to be alive and you would get approved.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which is what got us in trouble,
Yeah.
That's what got the business in trouble. When I started, it wasn't like that anymore. It was hard to get a loan. It wasn't easy. Not that hard, actually, but it wasn't as easy as just being...
It was just you had to get... you had to really be approved, like legitimately.
Exactly. You actually have to be somebody that can pay back. Back in the day, from what I hear, people they were just approving everybody, and so people were making money.
For whatever amounts, right? Like if you wanted a $500,000 home, you would just get it basically.
Yes, and it didn't matter, because I think everybody was in it and they were just making money, and everybody made that mistake. And so we started when all of that was, going crazy. And so nobody was really like trying to get into real estate because hell no, like nobody was having success in that business. And so instead of doing that, me and Beto, we had a cheap apartment and we kept our cost of living at the minimum. And so we were more focused in learning, or I was more focused in learning. Beto started gaining success right away. She started selling homes. She started making the builders, she started impressing everybody.
Okay.
I can say, going back to what you said right now, competing, that would, at that time, that would definitely give me motivation. I was competing for sure because Beto was, every sales meeting we had, the owner had a sheet of all the sales and the names of the people that had those sales, and Beto's name came up on it a lot. And I remember seeing it, and I remember being like, I have to be.
I need to step up my game.
I need to step up my game for sure. And so I think I did, but I think starting when it wasn't good is one of the things that today gives us an edge. Now everybody's doing it, like you say. I hear it's a couple thousand people that are in the business. You were talking about memes right now. I saw one this morning that says, it's like a real estate Instagram page, like a funny one.
Yeah.
And then it says, half the people that I was gonna sell a home to this year actually got their license. So something along the lines of that.
Yeah, that's.
And
funny,
I thought it was funny because I do have a lot of friends that I've actually done business with, and now they're getting a license and they're asking me about it and everything like that.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But I think I'm gonna, like I say, I've been able to work with family and my spouse and friends. I do have friends we've built up a team today, and that we actually have a platform to work with anybody that wants to work with us, that wants to get a license and get started. We actually have a platform that we can offer to anybody like that.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that. And it's amazing what you can do when you work out of good faith.
Okay.
So I'll bring anybody along in good faith, whether you make me money or not. That's okay, but I'll give you value before I try to take any value away from you. And to me, it's done amazing things in life.
Which I think that's really important, because I think that there's a lot of people out there trying to, and like in any industry, just trying to make like a quick buck off people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that eventually closes doors for them. You know what I'm saying? They start weeding themselves out. But so you would say, I guess, persistence or being persistent.
Yeah,
is what gives you the edge.
Definitely, being persistent for sure. And I think I'm a little bit of a geek. I like reading, and I like learning and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm a social guy, but I enjoy learning. I like playing chess. I'm a chess guy. I'm not the best, cool. But I'll play chess with anybody because I like it.
Yeah.
So like I say, having all the information in your hands, with your something as powerful as your phone, everything's out there for you to learn it. I don't have a business degree. I finished high school. I started college. I quickly realized it was kind of boring for me. So I went on and started enjoying life and meeting people like you and Vero. Worked out for me great. I had a lot of jobs, all these call center jobs. And
the best.
I met a lot of people.
That's where you get all the experience, dude. I honestly, that's, I worked a lot of call center jobs, sales, all, customer service. And ultimately, man, I think those jobs really, when it came down to, now that I have my business, you apply all that.
Definitely.
Everything you learn, everything, those 2-month trainings you'd go to, all that, so helpful, man.
You nailed it. I agree. You learn a lot from these types of jobs if you're focused in doing that, and then you meet a lot of people. Today, so many years later, a lot of these people I've done business with, they've bought a home with me, or I've helped them sell a house, or we've done flips and things like that. All the people that I met and all these jobs eventually came back and was a good thing for my real estate business. But it also took actually being nice to these people and actually being a friend, and liking
being real, dude. I think
being real
exactly.
is
the most important thing.
Yeah, I agree. And so like I say, I'm a social guy, and so at these jobs, that's what I would like, meeting people and then like hanging out and stuff like that. And then I would, it sounds bad, but I would quit this job and go get another one, go meet more people and quit it again. And I easily had 20 jobs, I don't know
Same
why people
here, dude. It's like once you hit the floor, a couple weeks in, later, let's go to the next training.
It got boring, it got boring because it was work, you had to be on the phone, but it eventually it taught me how to talk on the phone, like it taught me how to talk to somebody that's, maybe upset, or somebody that's trying to get sold on something. And I can say that I learned from every job that I had, and I had so many. So I was doing that instead of going to college. It worked out for me great, because today it's been good.
I think a lot of it, and I think, even though it sounds like a bad thing, I think at least for me, it was the same thing. Like my school was these jobs, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it, like these companies are like multi-million-dollar companies, like they're these huge corporations. So of course they're gonna provide the best training. If you think about it like that,
it's true.
So if you take that in, I mean, at least for me, I worked for Dish, I worked for DirecTV. Their sales programs are ridiculous, bro. Like they're amazing. So I think a lot of the stuff that I learned from there, I applied. I mean, again, they pay top dollar for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I took that same as you. And there's nothing like hands-on. Like I always tell a lot of people, like when you go to business school, when you get your business degree, whatever it is, when you start your own business, like when you actually go out there and they throw you in the pool, you swim or you sink, dude. Like there's no in between. And I think there's nothing like hands-on, bro. Like hands-on, like experience. That's actually that's where you learn the most. You can have like the textbook knowledge and all that, but you don't really learn until you're in the game. You know what I'm saying? When get thrown in there. That
degree definitely doesn't guarantee, success or failure. I'm not saying a degree is bad. I'm not saying that in any way. I think it's great. If you can stay in school and go through it and get a degree, that can help you. But don't close your mind to what's out there. Especially when we're in the age of technology, where we have all the information that we have accessible to us through the internet. I like to think that I got paid to go to school, because I learned, like you said, I learned a lot from these jobs, and then eventually I learned a lot from the builder that I started with. Dude, I learned a lot from the builder that I represent right now, the owner, which is a different builder than the one I started with. I've learned a lot so much from that guy that it's incredible, and I get paid for it. It's like it's amazing. And instead of getting into student loan debt, you can learn and get paid while you're learning, as long as you stay in the right direction. But like I say, life is an art. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So to some people, getting a degree is the best thing you can do, as long as you enjoy what you're doing. Or if you're in your early 20s and you haven't discovered who you are and you're trying to figure yourself out,
which is most people.
I remember it. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It's actually my birthday today.
Happy birthday, man.
I'm turning 34. So I remember, by no means am I saying that I already figured out who I am. I don't think you ever do. But in your early 20s,
you're definitely lost.
You're definitely lost. I was.
Yeah.
I see some people that are already like self-made millionaires in their 20s, and that's great. But I see some people struggling with like, hey, like what am I supposed to do? Like, they're going to school, but they don't know if they're going through the right degree. That was kind of what happened to me. I didn't really commit to anything because I was like, everything's too good, to commit to one thing.
There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of opportunity. I think people feeling lost and confused about who they are and who they want to be. I think a lot of it has to do, or I blame it on social media a lot. And I was gonna talk about social media because, as we know, that's super important now in the day. A lot of people are close to it for whatever reason.
Yes.
But I think social media is key for whatever industry you're in.
Yes.
That's where it's headed. I mean, that's where it's been. That's where it's headed. There's no going back.
No doubt. Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of these kids, these 20-year-olds, they see, like you said, self-made millionaires at 20 years old, all these people that are being successful at their age, and they feel like that pressure, you know what I'm saying? Because they start comparing themselves, and I talk about this a lot. They start comparing themselves with other people. What are the challenges, I guess, for you? Now that there is these platforms available to everybody, so that it's like you have 2,000 real estate agents in El Paso. Like, how do you what are the challenges for you, like, to stand out? And also, what are the challenges in the game, because a lot of people think that they can become, it's very trendy now too, being an entrepreneur, right? Starting a business and getting rich doing real estate. I see all these. I follow a bunch of pages, on Instagram, and I see a bunch of people that are, that are doing really well, and they're always encouraging people to do it. I personally don't think that this is for everybody. I don't think being a business owner, being in real estate, just being an entrepreneur, I don't think it's for everybody. I think there's a specific breed. I don't think you're born that way. I think you can get there, right? But you do have to, like, be that breed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always talk about, like, with dogs. A pit bull is a completely different breed than a Chihuahua. True. They have different, and then a German Shepherd. They have different. They're wired differently. They're the pit bull is more of a fighter. He's more of like an aggressive dog if you train it that way. Right. The German Shepherd, I mean, they work for the force. They can do a lot of things. They're very smart. They are who they are. You know what I mean? Right. And they're there for a reason. So I think when it comes to even business or real estate, whatever it is, I think that to be successful, you have to be that breed because of everything that goes on. People don't understand. People always say, like, oh, well, I want to be, especially like I said, on social media. Right. I'm gonna start a business and I'm gonna do this and that, which is great. You know what I mean? I think it's great that people want to do that, but I think they quickly realize, like, oh shit, like, this shit's hard. You know what I mean? Like, where's the money at? You know what I mean? Like, where's the money? It's been 2 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you think are the challenges in your industry for the people that are trying to get in, that they have that maybe a misconception that everybody's like coming in and making $100,000 right off the bat? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the challenges that people are gonna face? I think that if there's any kind of interest within you to try it out, whether you're talking about being a business owner or like a real estate agent. A real estate agent is actually a business owner because you eat what you kill. You get paid nothing but commission, so you're self-employed. You work. It's like a freelance. So I mean, if you get it into being a real estate agent, you're a business owner. You should look at it that way. But anyway, if you're on social media and you see all of that stuff and it kind of sparks an interest in you, I think everybody should at least give it a shot, try it out, and you'll find out if you like it or not. I think everybody should try it out, and the reason for that is one of the things that I learned in real estate school is the fact that we live in a capitalist economy, and so our economy is designed for you to have a business. Yeah. And so if you do, then you can gain a lot of success. You don't necessarily have to be the smartest person in the room. As long as you execute, as long as you do it. And that's where the trick is, to wake up in the morning, and when you don't have a schedule, when you don't have, anything to particularly do, and like being a self-starter and doing something out of nothing, you got to be that person, you got to be a self-starter to be able to gain any kind of success in being a business owner, I think. And so if that's not you, if you rather have a 9 to 5, show up to the office with your coffee, talk to your peers there at the job and get out and disconnect from that, that's fine. That's good too. If that makes you happy, whatever makes you happy, I don't think I had those jobs and I quickly realized this is not for me, like a 9 to 5 is not who I am. I didn't like it. It wasn't in my DNA. Just like you need to have it in your DNA to be an entrepreneur. It wasn't in my DNA to have a 9 to 5, not because there's anything wrong with that, but because it just wasn't me. Yeah. I wasn't happy. Yeah. And if you try to be an entrepreneur and you're making, 6 figures and a lot of money, but you're not happy, that's not you. It's not worth it. You shouldn't do it. Yeah. You shouldn't be not happy. You should be happy with whatever it is that you're doing.
And so, like I say, the money should be like a byproduct of being like that, you know.
But it shouldn't be your main motivation, right? I
Definitely.
mean, you got to be real. Like a lot of people are, you know, especially, you know, nowadays, you know, they want to make money,
Right.
right? Which is cool,
Right.
but that shouldn't drive you. Just the money. Like
Right.
that shouldn't be your main objective, just to get money. I
Right.
think being happy and being content with what you do should be the priority, and then from there, like I said, because when you're happy doing what you do, like when you're happy doing whatever it is that you're into, I think it'll show, and I think the money comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the money comes just with the work, you know, with the passion that you put into it. Eventually, like if you stick to it long enough, I think you'll start seeing the fruits. You know?
Right. And you know, you gotta stick to it, and you gotta find what you like. There's so many businesses that you can, you know, start, and so many things that you can do to be an entrepreneur. That there's got to be something for you, you know. My brother told me once, he came from the perfume industry. He used to have a cologne store.
Yeah,
he was doing really good. He was making, you know, a very good amount of money. He was killing it. A lot of my entrepreneurship spirit comes from my brother.
Okay.
I can say I feel like he's a little bit more of a hardcore entrepreneur than I am. That guy would not work for anybody.
Okay.
He would rather be broke
than
to work for somebody. And so even though you're gonna get criticized for that, to me it was like, that's interesting, you know. And he would try to put together like an event and try to charge out the door. I remember he put together like a marketing company, you know, him and his friend, and they got a couple of clients, and they were like 18 years old, you know, and so
that's cool.
I had that example. I think me and my brother, I think we have it from our dad.
Yeah.
He used to own a car lot. He used to sell cars. He used to also had a pest control company, like way back in the day when we lived in Juarez. He had a lot of success. I remember him coming home with big contracts, you know, hotels that would hire him to, like, you know, fumigate, and like a contract, you know, big clients. So a lot of that comes from our dad. But, you know, coming into a different country, I was born in Ciudad Juarez, and then he brought us over. And so I was 13 years old when he brought us over. So I wasn't, you know, a little kid, but I wasn't, you know, that old. So I actually started in freshman year in high school. Oh, cool. And so I had to change. Like,
you went to what school did you go to?
Americas High School.
Americas.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
So, you know, it was a crazy transition, and I know my dad sacrificed a lot doing that, money and time and his own career and his own businesses and everything. So there's a motivator in that too, you know. For me, I want to succeed because of the sacrifice that my dad had to, you know, do for us to be able to have this platform, you know, a platform like this country. So that's another thing that I want to be able to accomplish, you know. I want to make him proud.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm working on that.
So your dad's always been a hustler then?
You know, yeah, him and my mom. You know, the way I see it now at my 34 years of age is my mom was more of a like sales driven, you know.
Okay.
She's crazy. She's got the fire. She's got the fire.
She'll sell you. You won't even know it.
Well, she would actually you can see her get so pumped up when she's pitching a sale. You know, she would be pumped. She worked for the Diario de Juarez in the sales department.
Yeah.
And she quickly started gaining success. You know, making a lot of money. She started making more money than my dad, and you know, it was crazy. And so, but I think she's more like more in the sales part of it, and my dad has always been more into like the organizational, you know, skill of it. Like he's very organized, and so he can put together a business, and then, you know, my mom could be the sales force of that business, you know. And so I think me and my brother took a little bit from both, and then you know, we made our own thing with it. Okay. And then we ended up in real estate, you know, and right now we work together, and it's amazing because he can sell a house. You know, he can represent a buyer in a transaction where I'm representing the seller, and ultimately we both get paid.
Yeah.
And so
you both win.
That's amazing. You know, it's pretty cool to be able to, like, everybody get paid. There's certain transactions in which 4 or 5 of us get paid, and so it's celebration time when when you finish, and it feels nice.
And you know what? There's a lot of people, and that it's really cool that you guys can work as a team. Because there is a lot of people out there that they don't want you to touch their money. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to split. They don't want to give a piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? How is it? I've seen. I mean, now that there's social media, you get to see a little bit of drama here and there between like companies and between realtors. How do you guys deal with that stuff, man? Like, how do you guys, I guess, do to not, or what do you guys do for it not to affect you guys? Does it affect you guys?
You gotta embrace what's out there, and I feel like social media is a platform where you can broadcast whatever you want, and you can do it freely, and there's a big game changer in that.
Yeah.
And so if you know how to work that angle, then it can be very beneficial to you. And what I mean by that is the way you manage your politics, your business's politics.
Yeah.
You can broadcast certain things that are going to hurt your business, or you can do the opposite, and so it's a very big game changer to embrace what social media can do for your business. I think right now more than ever, anybody has a good opportunity to make it big very quickly because of social media.
Yeah.
So if you stay away from the drama, if you stay away from being focused on the wrong things, then you're gonna be good. If you start focusing on the wrong things and on the drama and what the other realtors are doing and they're not doing, one of the things that I can tell you is a lot of people are sort of in the fake it till you make it mentality.
Yeah.
Same thing, there's nothing wrong with that if you end up making it. But I feel like a lot of people are just broadcasting a message that's not the reality, the truth.
Yeah,
exactly. And then other people start seeing that, and they take it to heart, and they feel like, this and that is happening, and I'm not doing it.
Because they're not faking it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I see some groups that are out there that are, doing good things, and so I commend them with that. But right now everybody wants to put together a group and be the the number one. Be the top of the group, but you got to give your group value. I have a team, and I'm not trying to put my face in front of everybody and my brand in front of my dad and my spouse and my brother and all of that. Now to me, that's just me. I want to be able to get all of us to grow together, and everybody creates their own brand, and we create our own relationships and all of that, and then at the end of the day, you're happy with how you're doing it, So I say don't pay too much attention to what everybody else is doing. Do you, do your thing, the way you feel works. If you don't know how to flip a house and you want to learn how to flip a house, go to Google,
Yeah.
Google is your mother, like Gary Vee will say.
Yeah.
So go to Google and find out how to do whatever it is that you need to figure out how to do. And that's how you can do it.
And do you think do people ever try to drag you guys into drama and things like that?
We don't have the problem a lot. I feel like I can tell you this. We have a good position in the business, and I understand that there's gonna be people out there that are gonna be trying to take your job.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to eat your lunch, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm out there eating other people's lunches too,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So I feel like if you let that happen, you're gonna, have exposure and be vulnerable to, focusing on the wrong things. There's so much opportunity. There's enough for everybody. There's 2,000 realtors in El Paso, which sounds like a big number, but if you get into a market like Las Vegas, there's 22,000 realtors in that market.
Yeah,
that's competitive.
Yeah,
go
definitely.
to New York, that's competitive. So here there's enough for everybody. Even if you're not bilingual, I'm glad to say I'm bilingual, and that gives me an edge too. But if you're only English or only Spanish, I see people having a lot of success without even being bilingual.
Yeah,
there's enough for everybody. So the people that are focused in bringing the drama and try to bring other people down because that's how they feel they're going to move up, which is the wrong thing in my opinion. Stay away from that.
Yeah.
Stay away from that.
Would you say that there's a lot more of that in the industry? More of the more people with that mentality trying to take other people's lunches, like you said.
Yeah, it's that 80-20 rule. 20% of the agents are making 80% of the money.
Yeah.
It's that 80% of the realtors that are making 20% of the money that are doing it wrong. So most people are doing it wrong. In my opinion, because they're focused on the wrong things, in my opinion,
Yeah.
like that fame. And if that's all if that's what you're about, if you don't care to
make money,
actually
be
but
successful,
help
people.
Yeah, exactly. If you just want to be, sort of like an image, and if that makes you happy, that's cool,
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm about personally. What I want to get to is I want to be able to travel the world and have time available for me to spend the money that I've made and just meet more people and travel the world. I think that's my ultimate goal.
And I was gonna tell you, sorry to interrupt, but and that's actually what I love about you and Vero, because Franco is real, man. Like, that's what you guys need to understand, that Franco is real. Like, his answers here, what we're talking about, that's really who he is. Like, that's actually what motivated me to want to go to real estate school, to be under him, be under his team. Or what was it? What's the team called again?
Team Briseño.
Team Briseño, but there used to be another one.
It's
with it was a. Nah.
That was a moving company.
No. It was just you had a name for it. Like, it was just like.
When I was putting together the branding, I started Briseño Real Estate Group is what I wanted to do.
But it wasn't the professional Team Briseño. It was like it was just like a fun name. I forget what it was called.
I've tried so many things to my marketing schemes that I mean, I'm not sure which one, but it's because I don't really I'm not really trying to, like I say, put my face in front of everybody else.
Yeah.
I feel like my brand is my name and personality, and I get a lot of people that refer me because of that, like you, and I thank you for referring me to some of the best clients that I've had.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very nice people, and that's helped me a lot, and I thank you for that a lot, from the bottom of my heart. That's how I stay alive, through people that refer me. So I make sure to take care of them, and make sure to be honest about everything and very transparent and everything like that. And it works for me. It works for us to be, honest people.
Yeah.
And so that's how I get referrals, because I'm an honest guy and I won't screw anybody over anything.
Yeah.
And if I don't get paid, if I wasted my time because somebody didn't perform, that's fine, that's okay.
And touching on that, I was gonna ask you, what's the biggest pain to deal with, as far as in the when you're doing a transaction? There a lot of people go through that. There's a lot of people that it goes through. You got the inspector, you got the appraiser, you got the title company, you got all the mortgage company, you got all these people.
Yep.
Who's the biggest pain to deal with?
I'll say this: if anybody is out there listening to us right now, considering getting into real estate, I will say this: you need to have very thick skin.
Okay.
Super thick skin. You cannot let little things bother you, because there's gonna be a lot of little things. There's a lot of emotions involved with buying a home. I mean, we did your deal, and it's emotional because you don't know.
It's a roller coaster. It's
a roller coaster.
You think you're there. Yeah, we're gonna close, and boom, if it falls through,
everything changes.
And it's like you gotta wait another 2 years.
so now sometimes if your financials are not strong and we're out there trying to get you a loan, and then it doesn't work out, and then I see people getting mad at the loan officer or they get mad at the real estate agent. No, that's not fair. If you really had strong finances, then you wouldn't have a hard time getting the loan. So. Yeah. You're trying to help, and then sometimes, like I said, sometimes you're unfairly seen as the enemy when it's like, dude, you're the one that didn't take care of your credit.
People. I think people expect for you guys to do something that. They think that you guys have some kind of magic to make it happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think, that's where it's at. I think people get disappointed.
Yes, but so here's the thing. Like I say, you need to have thick skin as the agent, because you have, like you say, all these companies, the mortgage company, title company, the client, the seller, the other agent. There's always usually two realtors in a transaction, you know, the realtor of the buyer and the realtor of the seller.
Yeah.
So you have everybody on your throat about everything, you know, because time is of the essence, which means that
that's huge. And if you've been to real estate school, it's always about time is of the essence.
Yes, because there's certain provisions in the contract, in a legally binding contract, that will cost you money if you don't perform within a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
that's what that term, you know, means. So you have to perform, you know, as a consumer, as the buyer, you have to perform. You know, you have to bring your financials to the lender on time. You know, everybody's busy, so you have to like let them work on it too. You know, just like you're busy, everybody's busy. So it gets tricky when you start gaining success, and all of a sudden you have, you know, 20 deals going on at the same time, 30 deals, 40 deals.
That's crazy.
It gets crazy very quickly because it's just you have to be very organized, and you have to be very business ready for business.
Yeah.
You have to be able to answer every phone call. You have to be able to reply to every text. And sometimes you get a few text messages at the same time and a few phone calls. You know, I already have, I'm not kidding you, like 10 phone calls right now that I've missed, and text messages that after we finish this, I'm going to go back and reply to everybody. And I can guarantee that somebody's going to say, hey, you never answer your phone. You know, it's because everybody's busy, you know, and that's another thing that helps us be successful as a team, is that if I'm busy, then people have my wife's number. Sometimes they call me and I'm not available. They call her, and then she handles the situation. We have clerical help. You know, we have assistants, we have transaction coordinators, we have marketing people and everything like that. And so, but even then, you know, you can get super busy and it gets crazy. And that's why I say you have to have thick skin, because somebody's going to be emotional always, you know, and it's usually the client. And it's fun when it works. It's been crazy a few times, you know. I can tell you about a deal where I was representing the seller, and the deal went through, you know, the loan went through. The buyer was being represented by another realtor, so I was representing the seller. So the realtor of the buyer calls me, and they're like, hey, like, we closed, you know, we signed, everything's done. The deal's done, so where's our keys, you know? And I'm like, yeah, let me call my client, the seller, let me call him and get those keys. So I called him, and he's like, oh, we're moving, you know, we're moving our stuff. And I'm like, what? Like, you were supposed to already be out, like, we closed already, you know? Yeah, but we were busy. And I was like, okay. So I called the agent. It's a big no-no because the house is not theirs anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So I called the buyer's agent, and I'm like, hey, like, they haven't finished moving out. She's like, what do you mean they haven't moved out? And we're like, yeah, they're still moving their furniture. I'm sorry. And she's like, okay, like, we'll be there in an hour. Hopefully they're done by then. And I was like, okay. So I told her, let's go. So we went. They were going to go in an hour. We went right away. We show up. And they weren't even halfway done with moving, dude. It was like all their furniture. They weren't going to be done in an hour, that's for sure.
Did you start helping them? Let's go.
So me and Vero started carrying boxes, and we're like loading up the truck, and we're like, hey, like, these people are coming for their keys in an hour. and so you can see it in their face that they got concerned at that point. And then boom, they show up. The buyer's agent and the buyer show up, and they're like, hey, like, why haven't you moved out, you know?
Yeah.
Things like that happen, and that's fine. You know, I feel you have to work in good faith, and it wasn't done in bad faith. You know, my client didn't move out because there was a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. And
so they were finishing up, and I told them I had to do the damage control. You know, my client sent me, and he's like, hey, tell him to give us more time. So I had to do the work, you know. So I'm like, hey, like, we're not done, you know, but obviously we're here, you know, so give us a little bit more time. And they're like, we'll be back in like 2 or 3 hours, Beto. Something like that. We'll be back. And I'm like, okay. And so we're still loading the truck. We're literally like helping them move. We never do that, you know, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So we continue to load up the truck, and then these people show up again, and they're like, hey, like, where's, like, you haven't finished?
Yeah.
And so I kid you not, bro, the buyer, like, got kind of nasty, you know. He started yelling. He's like, hey, everybody get the F out of my house. Dang. And this and that. And it was crazy, you know. So talk about emotional, you know. And so that was something else. And it was my client's birthday. Oh. And, like, so he felt bad. And then we moved to the new house that he bought. And we're helping him there too. So Vero goes and gets a cake, a birthday cake, and we're helping him unload a little bit, and the dog starts taking off, bro. The dog takes off.
Oh, dang.
And my client, she starts crying. My dog, like this can't
Did
be
you
happening.
find
Like
the
it's
dog
too
too?
much. I started running, bro. I started sprinting to catch the dog. It was like a French poodle, and
Yeah, that's
those guys, they run.
Yeah.
So there I am running after a dog, after moving a truck, after like unloading and doing this and that. So very emotional. But now that I look back, it's a funny story, and it taught me a lot. It helped me develop that thick skin, that you have to have. So it's those challenging ones that teach you the most.
Yeah, and what's you guys have all this experience. You guys have a lot of success. What's next for you guys? We were talking about, off camera. We were talking about like, when do you feel like you're there when it comes to like success? When is Franco gonna be like, all right, cool, I'm chilling now?
I have that answer.
Okay.
When I live like I'm on vacation always.
Okay.
That's my end goal. Like I'm always on vacation. Not that I'm lazy, by no means. I'll never stop like actually trying to build something.
Yeah.
But I literally want to be able to like be traveling nonstop and live like I'm on vacation, with time on my hands and the resources that I need, like money. I'm not trying to make it about the number in my bank account or my investment portfolio. I'm trying to make it be about the lifestyle, about having the time to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So that's my end goal, is to like literally retire and continuing to make money. I want to develop a big real estate portfolio where I'm living off of that. I understand it's never gonna be completely passively, you
Right.
always have to be involved.
Yep.
But I just want to enjoy it. It doesn't matter to me if I don't end up, being a billionaire.
As long as you're a millionaire.
That should be easy. I mean, that shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm not gonna just waste all my life in like trying to be a billionaire or nothing like that. The moment that I stop feeling happy about my lifestyle, I gotta make changes. So that's the way that I see it. But that's where I want to get to. I want to get to just enjoying, like just being happy and enjoying. And I feel like you're not gonna have that if somebody in your family is struggling.
Yeah.
If you have somebody in your close family that's not good. So to me, that means being able to help everybody that I need to help, so that everybody's cool, and that way I can have that peace. I'm not gonna be happy if my dad isn't happy because he's having a hard time, about to get his house foreclosed, and I'm traveling the world.
Yeah.
No. I want to make sure to have.
Doesn't make sense, right?
Exactly. So to me, money is just a resource used to be able to provide security for the family, and then if you can enjoy it, then that's good.
And what's that age? Have you set an age? Like, because usually, like I, for example, I like to set goals. Like, hey, by this age, I want to be here. This age, I want to be somewhere else. What's that age? When does Franco get there?
I wouldn't want to take more than 10 more years.
Okay.
So my early 40s would
Early
be
40s.
a good goal for me to like enjoy.
To still enjoy, right? Like, still have some good health. Some time to spare. Because
Exactly.
a lot of people. I was thinking about this last time, and it's crazy how people kind of give up early on. Retire at 50, 60 or whatever, and then at that point it's like, what do you really do? You don't have that much time left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think and it's fine. It's not, it's kind of like how it's structured nowadays, or how it's been. You work a job 30 years, retire, and then enjoy whatever's left. So you wanna start early on, right?
If I can, I'm hoping that I'll be able to make it in way before that. If I can make things happen in 5 years and already enjoy, then so be it. I'll definitely try, but I know that'll definitely take some creativity, and some building and stuff like that. It's like a puzzle, the way I see it. It's like a puzzle, and I want to be able to, figure the puzzle. And like I say, it's not because I want to be lazy and I want to be just laying down and. No. It's the chances of you being alive are very slim, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
especially nowadays, man.
The way that I see it is, you're more likely to win the lottery a million times in a row than you being alive, right? So why waste something so rare with, being unhappy and being stuck at a job and being, stuck at a position in life that you don't like? And the world is so, I haven't traveled too much. I've traveled, and it's amazing when you see out there, like if you go to Cancun and places like that, and you see the Riviera Maya, and you see the ruins, and you see the pyramids, and you see, the
all the wonders, man.
All the wonders of the world. It gives you a very special feeling, and so that's the reason why I say traveling, because every time you come back from a trip, you come back with something in you, and
different perspective a lot of times, right?
Yes, absolutely. So that's what motivates me, it's the traveling and the enjoying and being free, being very free. It's the reason why I don't break the law, is because I can't really think about not being free, like being put in like, honestly, to me, being put in jail is like the biggest no, because taking away my freedom is like, it's crazy to me, it's mind blowing if like having your freedom taken away. So on the other hand, being super free, because you don't have to like be stuck at a job that you don't like and all of that, that's good.
Awesome, dude. And so what's next for you, man? What's next for you? What's coming up? What do you have in the works? What projects do you have coming up?
Right now, I have a very big account with one of my clients that's a new home builder. So I'm handling that account because they've helped me grow, and I like to think that I've helped them grow. We've helped each other grow. And so right now I want to, we're growing a lot in that account, and I'm focusing on that because it's been great. But like I say, I want to grow that account and grow my investment portfolio. And I don't mean about just like real estate investments, but I want to do all sorts of investments. I've learned a lot about money and underwriting and like opportunity cost and interest and all of that. So I definitely want to be able to invest the money that I'm making with commissions,
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at, taking care of my clients, growing my client portfolio, growing my investment portfolio, and then eventually, move on to like I told you, just enjoying,
enjoying the fruits of your labor, right?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being here, man. Throw your social media out there, your handles at your Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, Instagram on Franco_Briseño_realtor. I mean, just put Franco Briseño, you'll find me. Same thing on Facebook, Franco Briseño, and you'll find me. I don't think there's that many Franco Briseños, but so you should be able to find me on the social media platforms, and reach out to me. I like talking about real estate. So if anybody's considering coming into the business, if anybody's considering investing, if anybody's considering, flipping homes or being a realtor, or, they want to buy a home or sell a property, anything real estate, you can hit me up, and, I'll engage with you. I'll let you know what I think. I'll teach you everything that I know and everything that I can.
Yeah. And he really does. So, if you, for those people watching, highly recommended. This is my top dude. I wish you a lot of success, man.
Thank you.
Continue to grow. Hopefully we can sit back down later on and talk about where you're at. Hopefully, it's been crazy, by that time. So, thank you for coming, dude. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time.